Hello listeners, I am Kinjal Shah, Vice President and Co-Group Head at ICRA Limited, and through this podcast I will be sharing our views on the pricing pressures and regulatory scrutiny that persist in the US generics pharmaceuticals industry. The US has always been a key market for Indian pharmaceutical companies, accounting for about 29% of the FY 2022 revenues of ICRA's sample set. However, over the past few years, the revenues from the US market have grown at a relatively modest pace, reflecting a confluence of challenges being faced by companies in the form of consistent pricing pressure, lack of major generic product launches, and increased regulatory scrutiny. The significant consolidation of distribution side of the supply chain and the commoditization of generics is causing price erosion across products. The increased number of generic players, along with increased pace of ANDA approvals from the US FDA, has added to competition. Companies with a limited basket of products and deriving majority of their revenues from the oral solid segment are relatively more vulnerable to heightened competitive intensity in the segment. With relatively lower number of approvals for new products, the players who had earlier reduced their focus on some molecules re-entered these products, impacting the realizations and in turn leading to higher pricing pressures in the oral solid segment. The continued pricing pressures and stringent regulatory scrutiny has resulted in few leading Indian pharmaceutical companies reporting sizable impairment losses in recent times and also announcing discontinuation of some products or segments due to lower earnings potential. Some companies also reported sizable provisioning and settlement payouts against some of the ongoing litigations, which have impacted their earnings and balance sheets to an extent. ICRA expects mid to high single-digit price erosion to continue to exert pressure over the near term, resulting in a muted 1 to 3% revenue growth for the Indian pharmaceutical companies from the US generics market in FY 2023. Many companies have various ongoing litigations related to patent claims, antitrust litigations among others, and remain vulnerable to any further adverse developments on the same. We thank you for listening and stay tuned for our upcoming podcasts.